Hey guys, Adam and Nick here, ezops team, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and today we are going to talk about tanks.
Tank time.
Tank time. Production, chemical, consumption.
You betcha.
You guessed it. Give it a click. Tanks, boom, we're there. So what do we see?
Cool. So the first thing we're going to see is our tank navigation. What we're going to see right now is we have 2 tanks on site.
1, 2.
That's right. Get the fingers
Excellent.
out there.
So what's up with the one? The one's looking a little different there.
Yeah, so essentially, this one is the one that I'm currently highlighted on, and this tank here, it looks a little disabled.
Okay.
Want to guess what?
It is disabled?
It's out of service.
Out of service. That's easy.
Yeah,
so when it looks a little different like that, look down in service. Okay, easy peasy.
Absolutely. So the reason why we do that is you got out of service tanks. Maybe you don't need to filter through those ones. Just quick indication. You know what? Operators are busy. I don't want to waste their time. If someone's out of service. They
Get
don't
it
need to
out
take
of the site. Out of mind, out of sight. So
Absolutely.
below that, we got little descriptions. That's a methanol 500 gallon tank, and then we keep a description to help you kind of understand exactly what tank it is.
Operator lingo.
Yeah, so you use it as you need. Yeah.
It's the blue tank. It's the one to the right. It's the weird looking tank. Whatever helps you get to what tank it's talking about.
Perfect. The rest of the stuff, the orientation, the manufacturer, that helps us understand what kind of calculation to use in the back end to make sure that we're making a perfect reading for you.
Absolutely, and it's always nice too. The operators can put in a serial number if they need to, or they can change the manufacturer if need be, if they're on the side and they want to get proper documentation. Because sometimes it's tough to know what each tank is. It's going to be just to collect moving and grooving.
One center place.
Absolutely.
Keep the information correct here. So what's next there?
Cool. So we actually have a spot where you can take and put instructions for taking the tank reading. So at some sites, it's actually not totally intuitive how to take that tank reading. Mm-hmm. Maybe like the gauge board there's a trick or something to it.
Yeah, gotcha. So some sites are obviously need some help and some don't. So if you do, leave a little note so you and your cross-shift are on the exact same page. Because if you guys aren't taking the reading the same way, that's obviously not going to work. You're going to get results. It's going to throw everything.
We don't want that.
So next below that, we've got inject to. So in a situation where you're injecting your methanol or chemical in a couple different places, just so you don't have to trace the pipe, just so everyone knows. Boom, click off whichever one it is, and just keep it the same, and that way you know what's going on.
Exactly. Perfect. It can just save a little bit of time coming to the site, knowing exactly where that methanol is going to could be helpful.
Very nice. And below that to the side, we got a chart. And what does that chart tell us?
Well, yeah, essentially what this chart is telling us is a little bit of history about the last couple of readings that have been done on this site. So I say there's been 3 readings. Well, there's been more than that. We're going to show you the last 3 readings.
Show you only what you need.
Exactly, right? So I can see kind of how this tank is performing. I actually will take this centimeter off the ground value and apply it to a gauge chart to get a volume reading, which I can then check to see what volume went down, and then do some time comparison of that and give you back what we call a C rate or a calculated rate.
So it does the math.
Yeah, it does the math for you. It's
it just converts SEMs to
liters over time.
Liters over time. Love it. So if we were to take a SEM and tank reading,
sure, let's go 70
down
and
5 SEMs.
Yeah, and what we can even do is we can start up a manual rate timer if we want to. Take a 60-second.
Oh yeah, we're watching that fall. Tick 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 tick. Okay.
Exactly. Maybe we'll guess a manual rate of like 22 or something like
perfect.
that. Why not? Generally you have to wait about a minute to get a good reading. We're not there.
In case you're glugging. Perfect.
Lock it in. So we save that, and we end up getting this new reading here. So today's the 21st. We get a level of 70 centimeters.
That's like magic. Good guess.
And that's a good guess. You know the field. You know the field.
Yeah, that's it. This guy's an operator. Okay, below that we got the suggested rates, liters per day. So what's going on down there?
This is great. So often there's temperature swings or winter catches you by surprise. Say, what did we leave that rate at last year?
September, October. The
like
bad swings.
That, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's minus 30, it's the middle of December, or we're freezing first of all.
Yeah.
And it's time to get those methanol rates up. I don't need to guess. I know it works good at 25.
Perfect.
I'm documenting
Let's not relearn the expensive problems.
No. We made the expensive decision last year trying to figure this out. We got to 25. Save that, lock it in.
Yeah, there you go.
Good going for it, right?
Perfect. And so what's the tank service down the bottom? Looks like a toggle. So I'm assuming that's how we move things in and out of service. Eh?
That's right. So let's go back to that production tank up here using the navigation. We go to the disabled production tank. And what I'll do is I'll scroll down to the tank service, and I will essentially toggle it back.
Perfect. So you just toggle that when things come in and out of service.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, okay, we need to be taking readings here. Or if it's out of service, probably don't need to take readings as frequently. We're assuming everything's working. And
totally.
So that's generally how we're going to treat tanks in the field. That's easy peasy. So now we're back at the head office or back at the plant or whatever. And we want to look at it more holistically. Like when we're on our pages there, generally that's just a few tanks per site.
Right.
Want to look at all the tanks. Yeah. We have some reports for that.
Absolutely. So let's go to the options tab. We'll use the mega menu. And what we'll do here is we'll go to tank levels and rates. We'll go over here to our chemical consumption and rates report. Click on this, opens up a new page, and essentially get some options on what kind of report we want to run. So we have 2 options here, chemical tanks or the drain water production tanks.
Makes sense. Yeah, nice segregation there.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at, say, how our methanol hydrate inhibitors are going out in the field, or whatever consumption tanks you're using, whatever chemical you're
we can make it work, whatever you're using.
Absolutely. So what we can also do here too is we can see what planet we want to run this on. So let's check how ezops North is doing.
Perfect.
We can even narrow this down further. So for example, if I wanted to select the Watkins Wave field, I could select this and get all of the individual sites itself. So I want to go one by one site and see how it's performing. I can do that. In this case, let's do a plant live. Let's see how the plant's performing. So I'm going to get rid of this.
Yep.
And you know what? I don't care about the tanks are out of service. I want to know what needs to be filled. That's in service. So let's run on that. And we're going to use a visual report.
Makes sense. So generally for us, what we like to do is show you information twice. So we want to one way we want to show you is a visual report that's really easy to understand. It's kind of easier on the eyes. And the second way we want to do is more data focused. So this one is one of our visual ones. So right out of the gate, you're hit out with total methanol needed. So we need a bit of methanol there. And then obviously if it's a hydrate inhibitor or whatever, another chemical will total that up separately.
Yeah. And it's important to know that this is for that whole ezops North field.
Yes.
So now I know kind of how much methanol is needed.
You can communicate really clearly with your truckers. I need X, Y, to Z. So it's really simple that way.
Absolutely. And again, we use a paging feature on here so you can scroll through the different pages and take a quick look.
A lot of tanks out there.
Absolutely. So the first kind of picture that we're trying to show here is basically, you think about this as a tank. If we're on the low spectrum of it, there's less volume in there. So it can be a nice visual cue. I like to scroll through it and kind of see how our tank's performing. So I can see this one's under half, or I can even look at the percentage there.
Just barely under half.
That's right.
And then we have the rates graph there, just kind of see how the rates have been going or how things have been moving. And if you move a little further to the recent reading or the last filled records, just again trying to show you that history of what's happened with that tank.
And a nice little feature here too is this line graph, so we can actually see the comparison between a chemical rate and the manual rate. Generally, we want these lines talking to each other. We want them to be
similar.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's essentially what we're going for. Now there's another type of report we can
run. So we also have a data report. So to get that one, we're just going to go view on page. And
regenerate this report.
And so this one makes use of a lot of the filtering and toggling that we like to do everywhere. So you can see the field A to Z over there. You want to toggle that on and off. So that obviously works across the board there. So basically it's a tool for you to answer specific questions if you want to know, okay, what is most empty? What is the, oh crap, we got to get out there wells? In order, who needs the most? Just basically a tool in your tool belt to help you go out there and make a good decision with methanol and trucking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's generally it for tanks. So tank readings, harder to say than it sounds.
It is a tough one.
And make sure that you have the correct tanks on, and then come back, report on your tanks, and make good decisions.
Right. We're collecting all this good data in the field, use the reports, and then utilize that data, make good decisions out there.
Sounds good.
Use it.
That's us at ezops. Use it or lose it. All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Have a good one.